We have some breaking Philadelphia Eagles injury news to get to with Eagles training camp officially underway as the Birds reported to the NovaCare complex in South Philadelphia today. This is Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Thanks for stopping by, and this is why you subscribe to the show. If you're new here, this is the standard for Eagles talk right here on YouTube. When breaking news happens, regardless of where I am, we're going to give you an update, whether I'm at the Chat Sports studios or here at the at-home setup. If you're an OG, thanks for being a real one. In addition to breaking news alerts, we give you thought-provoking, insightful, informative Eagles coverage that involves you, the fan. So hit that subscribe button right now. It's my goal during this season to get that silver plaque from YouTube and reach 100,000 subscribers. We continue to inch closer to that goal every single day. Jeremy Fowler, NFL insider for ESPN, with this tweet just moments ago. Eagles defensive back Cooper DeJean will begin training camp on the NFI list. That is the non-football injury list, and will be sidelined 3 weeks with a hamstring injury suffered when he was caught in an awkward position during offseason training, per league source. It is unrelated to any prior injury. The Eagles are confident in a quick recovery and that he will contribute as expected this season. What is the difference from PUP to the NFI list? Well, usually when a player is placed on the non-football injury list, that means that an injury happened away from the facility, and it usually results in a quicker recovery. As far as physically unable to perform list, usually that entails a longer recovery. Now, if a player is on PUP to start the year, they have to miss a minimum of the first 4 games. So some differences there in the terminology. My takeaways from that Jeremy Fowler report: hamstring injuries suck, and we're not sure how long Cooper DeJean is going to be out. I know that I'm not a professional athlete, but I'm in pretty good shape. I train every single day. I've started to ramp up my training regimen over the last couple of months, and when I was playing basketball about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I felt this hamstring tweak, and I've done so much to try to get rid of it. Hasn't gone away. Now, I've continued to train, of course, but the point here being, they just linger and linger and linger. And the concern with soft tissue injuries is that you can re-aggravate it very, very quickly. Hopefully for Cooper DeJean, it's not all that serious. The Eagles are siding on the cautious route in hoping that he can come back, and they're obviously going to have him go through a very specific recovery and rehabilitation process, because they know, as an Eagles organization, as an NFL team, that sometimes these injuries, you have to be very careful about them, because if you do re-aggravate a hamstring injury, then you're out a lot longer. I'm not comparing myself to Cooper DeJean. I'm just speaking from personal experience, and I know a lot of you know that that's the case. Caught in an awkward position. I wonder what happened when DeJean was training, where he was caught in an awkward position. I read that on my walk home, and I'm like, well, thank goodness it's not anything that's more serious. We hear about these freak training accidents all of the time. I wonder what was happening. Did he fall? Did he slip? Was there some type of weight training going on in which he overextended? I'm not sure we'll ever find out, but I'm curious as to what happened. It's good that it's unrelated to any previous injury, but you never know. Is that damage control from a team source telling that to Jeremy Fowler? Because he did suffer a broken leg at Iowa. And immediately, when I see this alert from Jeremy Fowler, I'm thinking he's hurt again. And the Eagles don't want that to be the narrative about their second-round pick, who they believe is going to be a good player in this league and a highly impactful player, and a player who I think can impact this remade Eagles secondary right from the jump during his rookie campaign. Eagles confident in a quick recovery as part of that Fowler report. That's classic team optimism. But look, let me take the pessimistic route, and I'm always a glass-half-full type of guy. That's how I like to live my life, in a positive manner. Anytime a rookie misses time, it's really unfortunate, because the NFL requires such a steep learning curve. Terminology of the defense, verbal terminology of the defense, both with that and the overall schematics of the defensive system, right? It's a steep learning curve, especially in somewhat of a complex defensive scheme that Vic Fangio is running and a new scheme to the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't run this scheme with Sean Desai or with Jonathan Gannon. And so it's not like other players are familiar with it to help out Cooper DeJean. But I will say that while at Iowa, Kirk Ferentz and Iowa, they always had tremendous defenses. They never have good quarterback play. Their offenses are anemic. Those offenses are tough to watch. The concepts are trash. If Iowa ever figured out a legitimate offense, they'd be so good. They're still really good in the Big Ten with terrible offenses. Defensively, they're tremendous. But those defenses are pro-style types of defenses that Ferentz runs. And so that could help out Cooper DeJean at least a little bit. But he's going to be behind the 8 ball here. I think that he can be an excellent slot corner, versatile DB. He was recruited as a 4-star out of high school in Iowa to go to Iowa as a safety. But I think that he can kind of be used as a chess piece for Vic Fangio, and he can kind of play anywhere. And I said that in the pre-draft process. I said it after the Eagles had taken him. But he's going to be behind the 8 ball because he's missing significant time and a lot of practices to start training camp. 3 weeks is no joke. Like, 3 weeks is 1 or 2 preseason games. So that kind of sucks for Cooper DeJean. Is he going to be able at a deep position to unseat players in the slot nickel corner? Can he get on the field there? Can he get on the field as an outside corner? Can he get on the field as a safety? And now he's not going to potentially be able to play in some of these preseason games, if not all of them. But as you look ahead, I think that Cooper DeJean, he has a bright future, which is why it's important for the Eagles to be cautious about this. Slot corner, hybrid linebacker, safety, but also he could impact the game as a dynamic athlete, as a punt returner, maybe even as a kick returner with these new kick return rules. I mean, he averaged 13.1 yards per punt return. He has 4.4 speed. He had 7 interceptions in his career at Iowa. 3 or 4 of them went back for touchdowns. So he had a knack for making big plays, and he credited his instincts, his feel, being able to diagnose things as a defensive back because he played high school quarterback. And he sees the game from an offensive quarterback's standpoint. And as a senior, he led the team to an undefeated record, a 2020 state title, and a legendary performance in the state championship game. For his final season, 3rd year as a captain, good character guy. He passed for 3,400 plus yards and rushed for more than 1,200 yards and accounted for 59 offensive touchdowns, 35 passing and 24 rushing. So the dude was an absolute stud when he was in college and in high school. The Eagles situation at defensive back, look, this is a solid group here that Howie Roseman's been able to put together after the Eagles secondary last year was really hard to watch. You know, you have Darius Slay coming back. We'll see what happens with James Bradbury. Quinnia Mitchell was drafted in the 1st round. Isaiah Rodgers coming off the gambling suspension. Keely Ringo, an intriguing player. Eli Ricks, I think, has a future at the NFL level, being able to play. And so the Eagles were thin and not talented at DB last year. They're going to be a lot better. Cooper DeJean hopefully going to be able to be a part of that. But this is unfortunate news. I wanted to see what Quinnia Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were able to do from the jump. I want to see how these rookies can contribute year 1 in 2024 for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. And when these teams embark on training camp, it's fun to follow the rookies' progress, to see what they can become and how good of Eagles they can be as their careers progress. So wanted to hop on the mic, give you that Eagles Now update here. Cooper DeJean going to be out a couple of weeks with this hamstring injury. Don't forget to subscribe. 3 videos here today on Eagles Now. We're grinding, man, with training camp here, which means the storylines are going to continue to flow and the coverage is going to be popping.